The Tunnel from 2011 is a found footage horror film about a creature in a tunnel. I know, who would have guessed it? Around this time, found footage was popping up everywhere, and most people were getting pretty tired of it. The Tunnel is, well, like all the others, but what's interesting here is how they distributed it through a company called Vodo, which is an interesting concept. Basically, you download the movie via BitTorrent and legally watch it for free. If you liked it, you can purchase the physical media or donate. It's an interesting idea to actually lean into piracy to distribute your film. No one else was doing that, and, well, I guess there was a reason, because it doesn't look like they've made anything since 2012. But let's watch The Tunnel and see if a free movie can be any good. It opens up trying to make us think it's real and that this all actually happened. There's a 911 call from someone who needs help at a train station, but then the call cuts out.
Hello, are you there?
Then we learn about a water crisis in the city. It seems like they're running out of clean drinking water and have resorted to recycling the water from an underground reservoir under the city. The project was all set to go, then suddenly stopped, and no one is talking about it. That's when we meet Natasha, who's a reporter. Her and her crew plan on investigating what happened with this plan, and when they get no help from the government officials, they resort to interviewing the people who have actually lived down there.
Can you scratch your pants because people are going missing in the tunnels?
No comment. No comment.
Here we meet Trevor, a homeless guy who spent most of his time in the tunnels. But when Nat asks about some of his friends who've gone missing, he freaks out.
No!
Not much help there. After hitting dead end after dead end, the team decide it's time to get their hands dirty and do a little investigative journalism. So, Natasha goes down along with Steve, the camera guy, Peter, the editor, and Tangles, the sound guy. But before they can even make it down there, a security guard kicks them out, forcing them to break in through the back door. Once down there, they're able to get some really good shots, and they find evidence that there are still homeless people living down there, despite what the government says. They also show us that this area was converted to an air raid shelter in World War II, so it's at least possible to live down here. They keep walking deeper and deeper into the tunnel, and it all looks really cool. You get a feeling for the wet, cold, dirty environment, and after a while, you actually start to feel like you're there with them. There's a reason why Urbex videos are so popular on YouTube. Eventually, they make it to the underground lake, the would-be water source for the whole city. They talk about how vast it is and wonder why this plan didn't come to fruition. A little later down, they find an old bell from the World War II days. They ring this bell and Tangles hears something over the mic. He moves over to the other room to try to get the perfect sound, and they ring the bell again. But this time, the mic cable goes flying away, and Tangles goes with it. The group search for him, but he's nowhere to be found. This doesn't really come as a surprise, though, because we know who's gonna make it. Yeah, in between the tunnel footage, we get talking heads of Natasha and Steve telling us their side of the story. So, yeah, we know at some point Tangles wasn't gonna make it, and eventually, Peter's gonna go too. They all go around looking for him, even trying to call his cell phone, but yeah, no service. They do stumble upon a room, and it's a complete bloodbath. They find his flashlight, all but confirming his death. But before going into that room, Natasha put down the night vision camera, and when they get out, she notices it's been moved. They watched the footage and something picked it up and actually recorded them. Creepy. As whatever it was put it down, there's one frame where you get to see this thing. But not a good look just yet. They continue to look for an exit, and it looks like there just might be a light at the end of the tunnel. Literally. Because the security guard comes down there to take a peek. He yells at them, but honestly, who cares? Yell at me all you want, just get me out of here. They start following him, but then, boom! He's taken out. Now they're all mixed up and pretty lost. They argue back and forth a bit, but eventually calm down and continue to look for an exit. They make it back to the lake and see the security guard. He's messed up, but alive. But not for long. The creature comes up behind him and breaks his neck. Natasha starts crying, and the monster hears them and takes off after him. It actually manages to get a hold of Pete. They shine the light on it and it lets go. So this thing can't stand bright lights. Good to know, but they're also on their last battery. They run around a little more and I'm starting to see a theme here. Run, see the creature, run, rinse and repeat. Well, this time it gets a hold of Natasha and drags her away. The guys go back and actually save her, but Pete gets pretty messed up. They all run out of the tunnel and get to the door to the train station. They break through and are finally out of this nightmare. They call 911 to get Pete some help, and it's that same 911 call from the beginning. They say they tried everything, but in the end, Pete didn't make it. And that's The Tunnel, a predictable found footage movie that blends in with all the rest. And for me at least, that's okay. It's still a good horror movie. As soon as found footage became a success, it was inevitable that they would go down into creepy underground tunnels. And that's the real star of the show here, the location. It was filmed beneath St. James train station in Sydney, Australia, and I don't think they could have found a better place. The walls all have paint peeling, everything is dirty. It's scary to begin with, but then you throw in a monster, you have my attention. You don't really get to see the creature all that much, and I'm sure that's on purpose, but you do get to see glimpses of it here and there, and your imagination fills in the gaps. The storyline is pretty basic, and a lot of people won't like the film style. But hey, remember, it's free. The filmmakers decided they would rather you see their work than them make any money off of it. And that's pretty cool. Watch The Tunnel when you're in the mood for this type of movie, and you'll have a good time. I give it 2.5 death bells out of 4.
It's bigger than I thought.
Yeah, I get that a lot.